Franklin Small was born into a Methodist family, and his mother had prayed for a son, and she prayed the prayer of Hannah that, if you give me a son, God, I will dedicate him back to you. Franklin Small was born a twin, and right after that, 32 years he lived without having any desire to follow the Lord or have anything to do with God, but his mother continued to pray for him. Around a time later, 32 years later, he had a serious stomach ailment that caused him to seek healing. And he heard that there was an evangelist coming from Saskatchewan into Winnipeg who would pray for him. He received prayer and received instant healing from his stomach ailment. And he gave his life to Jesus Christ and also received a call of God. Franklin Small, at the same time, heard that there was revival meetings down in a place called Azusa Street in Los Angeles, led by a one-eyed, illiterate black preacher by the name of William Seymour. And he went down to be a part of these revival meetings. And when he was there, he was prayed over by an evangelist by the name of Mary Woodsworth Etter. Now, Mary Woodsworth Etter prophesied over him and laid hands on him, and he received a call of God to bring revival back to the city of Winnipeg, which he did. And right after that, he came to Winnipeg in 1913 and began to seek the Lord in prayer. And the Lord called him to fast and pray for 3 years, which is a long time. And he prayed, and at the end of the 3 years, he heard God speak to him, and he had a vision, and God said to him, I've heard your prayers, revival is here. And in that vision that he received, he saw a tent, and he saw an oil gushing from underneath that tent, which he felt the Lord saying to start tent meetings on the banks of the river, the Red River, which is right here. This would have been the spot that in 1916, 3 years after he had come back from that revival in Los Angeles, the Azusa Street revival, he began revival meetings right here on this spot. What happened was nothing short of miraculous. People received their sight that were blind. People who were deaf received their hearing. People got out of wheelchairs. And the word spread across Canada and the world that there was a revival here in this city that drew so many people in, and thousands were saved, thousands were healed. And it became a revival known as the Great Fire Revival of Winnipeg of 1916, which lasted 10 years. Now, throughout that revival, many people were sent out from this meeting, which right after the meetings, Franklin Small felt to start a church, which became known as Zion Apostolic Church, which is the church that we are part of now. And it's the founding church of our fellowship, the Apostolic Church of Pentecost. And Franklin Small had such a heart for Israel that he named the church Zion Apostolic Church. And he believed in Israel's right to their own land. And he would preach on that. And he was passionate about that. And in the midst of that, a man came onto the scene, which we're going to talk about. His name was William Hull. William Hull was a man from Winnipeg who went to Kelvin High School, where he met his high school sweetheart, Lillian Hull. And it was years later that William Hull received a call of God in a service at Zion Apostolic Church to go to Israel as a missionary. And so William and Lillian Hull were sent out from Zion, from Winnipeg, to Israel to begin a ministry which they called Zion Apostolic Mission. Now, William Hull, at that point, was gaining a voice for the right of Israel to their land, and would speak about it and carried an influence. He was an influencer like none other, and if he was living today, I believe he would be a YouTube influencer. He just loved to share about the interests of Israel. And I know that caught the attention of different people in Jerusalem at the time.